Shalom, Israel. Shalom to the Torah's Yasharala. Giving, of course, all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bash, and Yahweh Shah. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, this brother Yasharala, coming back, y'all, yet another video through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bash, and Yahweh Shah. Right? I'm going to get straight into this. Lord willing, this will be a quick video, but edifying to the Spirit. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 14. Right, so when you read First Maccabees, right, the revolution, for lack of better terms, revolution, or AKA known as the Maccabean Revolt, started by Matthias, right, who was a Levite, during the time of the Grecian captivity. All right, you can read about the Grecian captivity in First and Second Maccabees. Okay, because remember, that's one of the seven major captivities that Israel has went through in the past, and that the Most High even directly prophesies about in Daniel the 7th chapter. All right, that will be the third beast. Okay, that was clothed like a leopard. All right, but or had leopard skin rather. But basically, that's talking about the Grecian captivity. You understand that, but it started with who? Matthias, right? And then it moved on to Judas, and then it moved on to his brother Jonathan, and then the dominion moved over to who? Simon, right? The high priest. And so in First Maccabees 14, you read about Simon, the high priest, and how he basically won many strongholds and allowed for the yoke of Israel to be broken off during his time. So let's go to the book of First Maccabees chapter 14, right? And verse 8. And it's also like a foreshadowing. Just when you read First Kings, right? When you read First Kings, it's a foreshadowing rather of the kingdom of heaven, right? We're going to get it. First Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 7, right? It says what? And gathered together a great number of captives, and had the dominion of Gazariah and Bethsura, and the tower out of the which he took all uncleanness, neither was there any that resisted him. Right, so in the kingdom of heaven, on a spiritual level, there's not going to be anybody that resists the Israelites. There's not going to be anybody that resists the will of the Most High. And if they do, guess what? They're going to be utterly cast down. That's Isaiah 60:12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall utterly perish. Right? Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. When you read the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter, right, in verses, I believe, 16 on down, it will read about that the nations will have to come up to Jerusalem year by year to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, right? And if they don't, there shall be no rain upon their land, right? Verse 8, First Maccabees 14 and 8. Then did they till their ground in peace, and the earth gave her increase, and the trees of the field their fruit. Right, so during the time of Simon, the high priest, ruling over Israel, there was peace. There was finally peace in the nation of Israel. There was finally peace, only for a moment's instance, though. All right, but because, of course, this didn't last forever, right? But in the kingdom of heaven, what's going to be different is, instead of Simon, the high priest, ruling over us, is going to be another high priest, right? Not Simon, but the Yahweh Shah, who is the high priest, who is the high priest over all the high priests, if you have ears to hear. Because remember, he's Melchizedek, right? He's Melchizedek through the Spirit. That's Hebrews the 7th chapter. So it says that we were able to till our ground in peace, right? And the earth gave her increase, and the trees of the field their fruit. The ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious and warlike apparel. You see that? So the young men had the glorious apparel on. The old men were communing with each other of good things, It's giving kingdom kind of vibes, I would say, right? Verse 10, he provided victuals for the cities, and set in them all manner of munition, so that his honorable name was renowned unto the end of the world. So instead of Simon's honorable name being honored and renowned across the whole world, it's going to be whose name? Yahweh Shah, right? Let's get that in the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 15. So that's why, like how we say, man, everything is double to that which is, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 1 Corinthians. Oh, come. Actually, let's go to the book of Philippians, right? This is what I want. All right, let's go to Philippians chapter 2 and verse Philippians chapter 2 and verse 8. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. It's talking about Yahushua. Wherefore God also have highly exalted him, and given him a name that which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in heaven, and in things in earth, and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushua Mahashiach is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. You see that? So literally Yahushua's name is going to be declared throughout all the earth, right? His name is going to be declared throughout all the earth, and his name, instead of Simon the high priest's name, is going to be declared and renowned across the whole earth, because everybody's going to know the name of Yahweh Bash and Yahushua, right? And reference it, right? It will even tell you that in the book of Malachi chapter 1, right? Let's get that real quick. Malachi chapter 1 verse 11 says, for from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering, for my name shall be great among the heathen, saith Yahweh of hosts. You see that? So everybody's going to know the name of Yahweh Bash and Yahushua and reverence it, right? So let's go back to this. First Maccabees chapter 14 verse 11. He made peace in the land, and Israel rejoiced with great joy. Remember, in the days of the Lord, Yahushua, there's going to be peace, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 23 and verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I'll raise up unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name, whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness. You see that? So literally in the days of Yahushua, right, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have peace. There's going to be peace upon Judah and Israel, meaning both kingdoms, all of Israel, right? First Maccabees 14 and 12. For every man sat under his vine and his fig tree, and there was none to fray them. Neither was there any left in the land to fight against them. Yea, the kings themselves were overthrown in those days. So in those days of Simon the high priest, nobody stood against them. During this time, though, because you did after that, Simon did die. He did get killed, right, by, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tryphon, right, if I'm not mistaken. But certain ungodly men, right, they killed Simon, okay, when you read First Maccabees 15 chapter. But literally, during the times of Yahushua, the only difference is, of course, we're going to be in our own land, and that, guess what? Yahushua is going to be reigning over us, and this dominion is going to last forever. Remember, Daniel chapter 7, verse 18 talks about the kingdom and dominion that the saints are going to get is going to be forever and ever, right? That's Daniel chapter 2, verse 44 as well, right? And here's the key verse, because it says in verse 12, it says, for every man sat under his vine and his fig tree, and there was none to fray them. So when you go to 1 Kings chapter 4, I believe in verse 25, right? It says what? And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Who's Solomon? Yahushua. So this is showing you that in First Maccabees 14 chapter, on a spiritual level, right, that this is also a foreshadowing of what shall take place in the kingdom of heaven, right? That's going to come, you know. It's just every man under his vine and his fig tree indicates what? Peace, you know, tranquility, right? And First Maccabees 14:13. Neither was there any left in the land to fight against them, right? When we overthrow these kings through the spirit power Yahweh Bash and Yahushua, and when the Lord conquers all these kingdoms, guess what? There's not going to be anybody to stand up against us. Esau's not going to have power. Moab's not going to have power. All these other kingdoms will not have power, right? They're going to be overthrown. Their dominion's over. Remember, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? These other nations will not be able to have power, right? Because we're going to have the power. Yahushua is going to have the power, right? Not them. Okay. First Maccabees 14 and 14. Moreover, he strengthened all those of his people that were brought low. The law he searched out, and every contemner of the law and the wicked person he took away. Remember, no ungodly people can enter into the kingdom. You know, no ungodly people can be in the kingdom alongside with the Israelites. Remember, you can read about that in Revelation chapter 21, you know, and really on a spiritual level, we're the kingdom, right? So there's not going to be any ungodly Israelites. Of course, they're going to be heathen. There's going to be heathen there. They're going to strive to keep the commandments, but nobody is going to be ungodly amongst the nation of Israel, right? Remember, that's Isaiah chapter 60 and verses 21 on now, right? For all thy people shall be righteous. First Maccabees 14 and verse 15. Here's the last verse. Now I'll close it out. He beautified the sanctuary and multiplied vessels of the temple, right? So Yahweh Shah, and guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, he's going to beautify us. Because remember, we're the temple, right? We're also the temple of the Lord. So he's going to beautify us and magnify us, right? You know, and put us on our highest state again. Give us a spiritual body, etc., right? So Khan, Lord willing, this was edifying. It's your brother Yasharala closing out through the spirit power Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah again. The water for watching. Shalom.